Jimmy, I want to talk to you about the Paris Hilton thing. Have you seen that? Paris Hilton, I guess a couple of her fans saw the video that we did, the interview of her from literally 10 years ago. Yeah. And said, oh, these people treated you horribly. It was harassment. It was misogynistic. And then they put up a quick clip, and it's me kind of talking to her mostly. And she talked about how the strong, powerful Paris of today would never put up with that. And I watched the whole clip. We weren't being misogynistic or harassing. She was giving us zero as a guest on our show.
Yeah. She came in that day. I remember it felt like she didn't want to be there. It felt like she didn't really want to be there. But like, we were all happy to have her in.
Yes.
Like nobody was like, hey, let's fuck with Paris Hilton. We were happy to talk to her.
Yep.
And I remember thinking, like, did she not want to be here, or did she just not feel comfortable here? Like, I don't know what went wrong, but I remember trying to ask questions that were like, I had seen the show. I actually liked the show. And I was like, I wasn't going to be a dick about it, but I was like, why is she reacting this way? Like, what happened that she is like not giving us responses? Maybe she was just uncomfortable, but people act like it was this knockdown, drag out thing. And it wasn't.
It really wasn't. It was a guest on a show, by the way, you know, kind of that shock jockey thing going on.
Yeah.
And we weren't being mean to her, but when she wouldn't answer anything, first we got the list from the publicist. Don't talk about the sex tape. Don't talk about this. And we always hated getting the fucking list. And then she wouldn't give us anything. So what do you think about this or that? And she's like, I wish him the best. So good. I just want to, and she said, I just want to talk about my show. Oh, really? You want to do an infomercial for your show so our listeners can go, ugh, you guys suck. You just kissed her ass and didn't give us any entertainment. So we kind of leaned on her a bit, but it was nothing close to harassment.
No. And we could at that time, especially, we were real dicks sometimes. And that was like, it's weird. I'm in a weird position. Like I know that like what it's like to host a show, and I know what it's like to walk in as a guest.
The people don't think so.
Yeah, well, they're not wrong. I know what it's like to immorally collect a check from SiriusXM. I should rephrase that. I know what it's like to putty fill a giant wound. And then when I go on the road, I know what it's like to walk into a radio studio.
Right,
so,
you're on
like,
both
when
sides
you walk
of that.
in, dude, I've walked into people we've jocktobered. I've gone in, and I know what an aggressive atmosphere feels like.
That's got to be awkward.
But you know that you have to at least talk. The worst thing you can do as a guest is kind of shell up and not want to talk, because it wasn't like she was saying things that we hated or we were like, that's bullshit. It was like, you're not talking. And I feel like if I went into a radio studio, I'm always feel like obligated to at least talk. You don't have to tap dance and, and be, I'm so entertaining at 7 a.m. Just have a conversation. Right. That's all I ever really want from somebody.
Well, one of your conversations are more entertaining than a lot of people that are fucking trying their hardest. That's just who Jim is. But the idea that she's going to come in there, plug her show, and go to the next door down the hall and do the same fucking thing, we weren't going to sit for it. We weren't just going to sit there and go, oh. So, again, we try to pull something out of her, and, well, not literally. And we got another. And for us to get pissed at someone that hot is really making a statement. When she stood up and, she got that little waist and the ass and fucking shit. You saw the sex tape. And then we're actually mad at her. I fucking given the benefit of the doubt to girls on our show that were way uglier and fatter than she was.
I paid $50 in a blackout for her sex tape, like the DVD. $50 US. You know what that's worth now? In Bitcoin, what I paid on her DVD.
I gave one Bitcoin. I gave a Bitcoin for that tape back years ago.
Yeah, I woke up next to it and I was like, what did I buy? And I was like, well, I might as well pop it in. And it was like 2 hours of them at a casino and like 15 minutes of her blowing the dude.
Yeah.
Yep, well worth it. Yeah. Honestly, well worth it.
Yeah. I jerked off to the blackjack hands that they were getting. It was amazing.
When you get these things from publicists where they tell you, hey, just stick to the, like Abdul-Jabbar's publicist.
That was it. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
And it's like, what guests don't understand is that if it's only a plug fest and no conversation, they lose interest.
Yeah,
the audience they don't want to hear, like they want you plug stuff. Part of it is by having an interesting conversation. And then the natural plugs will come and people will be like, hey, that was a good experience. Maybe I'll go check this out.
You want to plug it. Like you want to plug. If a guest is doing a great job on your show and being really entertaining, you want to go, hey, fucking see this guy or buy the book or whatever the hell it is. But when you get something like that, you kind of, like you said, Kareem, this actually happened. A publicist came up to us. We have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar coming in the studio and said he doesn't want to talk about basketball. that actually happened. And we're like, are you out of your fucking mind? What are we going to talk about? Being a co-pilot? Can we talk about how it is to fly in the right seat of an aircraft with a pedophile as your commanding officer? It's fucking bizarre to think they didn't want us to talk about basketball.
They don't understand. Like a lot of people think that if you just mentioned, like I've done Rogan, you've done Rogan. Joe never has seen one of my specials.
I'll be doing Rogan on the 13th again.
Yeah, and he'll guarantee he'll talk to you for 3 hours, but he's never once said, so tell me about the project. He doesn't give a fuck. It's never they'll plug it maybe in the YouTube thing, but the conversation is what the interesting part is, and then people will check out what you're doing.
By the way, of May. Sorry. The 13th of May, I'm doing.
I wish everyone turned in on March 13th. It was somebody else.
It would be somebody else, but much better than me, of course, or at least more sensitive. But that's people don't understand that it's a two-way street when you're doing a talk show, and there are certain A-listers that you will put up with anything. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, certain musicians, not Jimmy's musicians, because, I mean real fans of, but those are the people that you'll put up with a lot of shit to sit there and talk to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold doesn't want to talk that he fucked his maid and had a bastard child, we'll probably lay off that so I could talk 20 minutes about the Terminator. Like, I get it. But when Paris fucking Hilton comes in about her fluff, bullshit, pre-written reality show, and all she wants to talk about is how she runs 17 companies, go fuck yourself. Fuck off.
I don't understand and again, I don't know if it's the publicist that will tell a guest this or if the guest instinctively thinks this, but whenever I go on other shows, I feel obligated to talk about it. If they ask about it, hey, about the project, I feel obligated to kind of go into a little bit of detail.
Shit that's out there too. Like it's already out there. Shit that's already out there. It's not like you're asking something that's so intrusive that you've never talked about. Like it's kind of easier for someone like Jim or me, like we put our lives out there to talk about stuff that might be considered embarrassing or whatever. But we aren't asking her anything that hadn't already been put out there. So it's to be dishonest on a show that we were doing where we pour our shit out there just to plug your show. And I'm not talking about an interrogation. It's an interview. Yeah. But just to plug a show? Fuck that.
And the audience would have murdered us if we didn't at least. And we got killed for that anyway because we really were not. We had promised that we were going to be nice, and they got pissed off at us anyway. But we were like, okay, take care. I mean, I was kind of joking when I asked for the autograph, but I was like, I didn't want to end
funny,
it.
Dude. We watched the clip yesterday when you're like,
I had to do it.
You probably hate me, but can you sign this picture I have of me? It's like, oh, God. I know you got to get out of here. Because she said she's got to leave, and she kept sitting there, and I go, all right, well, you could take your headphones off and make your way out of the studio.
Yeah, we'll just keep talking,
Jim's like, please sign my picture. And then talked about how shitty you looked. And then we put up the picture.
I did. I remember that photo. I was fat. As I kind of look now, fucking pandemic piggy boy, pandemic fat tits. I just can't stop. I'm literally as I'm talking to you, I'm looking at my neck on Zoom. I'm looking at my fucking neck. I wish a cartel member was.
I am too, wishing there was a noose around it.
All right, I want to get my head cut off, and you want me hung. Either way.
Okay, it works. Either one. Kind
It
of
works. I didn't even get that mad when I heard it though. Like normally that would have just, but I was like, like
That was
I guess
nothing.
no.
When I saw it, I was like, wow, this is, I expected clicking on it. And I used to listen all the time. So I was like, oh God, what is this going to be? You know what I mean? What did they say to her? And then I was like, wow, Anthony's calling her rich. What a fucking insult.
She's rich. And I worked since I was 15. What'd you do? Modeling. Oh, what's that, like fun? It's like it's not a
like
job.
Most 15-year-olds, you know, we all start modeling. Ice cream shop or modeling. It's one or the other.
Dude, I
could have
been a model, dude. I could have been a model.
If I had any comedic chops when she said she was a model, I would have said, yeah, me too. And then I would have discussed modeling with her. If I had a fucking funny bone in my body, I would have made her pretend that she thought I was a model.
Oh, would that have been great? Oh, yeah. I'm with the Ford modeling agency, the automobile company, not the actual modeling.
No. The mayor of Toronto. I'm with his modeling agency.
The theater in Washington where Lincoln got his head blown off. That's I model.
Yeah, they said I'm the second least entertaining thing to be in the fucking
that ever happened.